Hello. All right. So what I have for you today is a compact practice focused on twisting. And something that one of my teachers said about twisting that I really like that I'll pass on to you is that, one great thing about twist is that you can put a twist anywhere. So twist can help to prepare for back bends, for instance. They can help prepare for forward bends. You can do a twist after back bending. You don't want to go to deep twisting right after back bending, but you could do some mild twisting after back bending. Also, you could do twisting after forward bending, and you'll see twists within standing poses and within inversions. So we have a practice that's a little more compact and brief today. It's not like a full 90-minute class, which is what I normally teach, but hopefully it'll help you get into your own practice for today. And the emphasis will be on twisting poses. You don't need a lot of props for this practice. So if you have a belt, a yoga belt, maybe a couple blocks and a couple blankets, that should be about all you need. All right, so let's get started. We'll start off with Adho Mukha Virasana, downward facing hero pose, which is also sometimes referred to as child's pose. And today we're going to take blocks for our hands for Adho Mukha Virasana because this helps to open the shoulders. So take 2 blocks at the front of your mat, and then bring your big toes together, knees apart, and then draw your hips back, descend your buttock bones, descend your hips until the buttock bones rest on the heels. If your buttock bones do not rest on the heels, you can take a blanket and put it on top of your heels so you have something to rest on. And then from there, reach your arms forward, have your hands on blocks, elbows straight, and bring your head down. Now, also here, if you find that your back rounds, that your back is lifted like this and the head does not reach, again, you can take a blanket, fold it up, and put that underneath your head. Take a few breaths here. Give yourself a moment to settle in. So keep the elbows straight. Keep equal pressure across the circumference of your palm. Keep your hands spread, fingers spread. Allow those hips to descend and soften your abdomen, soften your throat. And without trying, just notice where your breath goes here. Where does your breath go? You may notice that you breathe a little more deeply into your back ribs, back lung area, middle upper back area. So you can access more of the breath on the back body in these prone positions. You can just ever so slightly exaggerate that. Don't force the breath, but just feel where that breath goes. You can just ever so slightly exaggerate that. All right. Now from here, let's take the blocks with us. Anchor your left buttock down and then Parshva Adho Mukha Virasana, extend to the right. Keep that left buttock anchored down, extend to the right, lengthen out that left rib area, left outer armpit area. And then extend out to the left, anchor down the right buttock, extend to the left, lengthen out that right side rib area, right outer armpit area. All right, and then you can remove your hands to the blocks, reach your arms forward one more time, head down. And then from here, we'll come up into downward facing dog. So if your heels do not reach the floor in downward dog, I suggest taking something underneath your heels. So I have this slant plank. I'm going to put that underneath my heels. Another option would be to roll up an extra sticky mat, fold up a firm blanket, or you could take your heels to the wall so that you have something to press your heels into, because when your heels press into something or when they touch down to the floor, you can be more in your legs. Spread your palms, spread your hands, tighten your elbows, even pressure through the circumference of your palms. And then straighten your legs, draw your hips up and back, and let those heels either touch down onto the floor, onto a support, or into the wall. Inhale, use your exhale to extend your hips back, lengthen out your spine, lengthen out your side waist. See that your feet are at least hip width apart, hands are at least shoulder width apart. and extend the inner heels back. So don't let your heels turn in, but extend those inner heels back. Legs straight, arms straight, head and abdomen soft. And you can see your knees and your own thighs here. So see that all four corners of the kneecaps grip into the leg, and the quadricep muscles and flesh draw into the bone. So there's a firming of the muscles and the flesh to the bone. Release at the base of the skull, sides of the neck, and again, equal pressure through the circumference of your palms. Couple more breath cycles here. Really let go your abdomen. Let the abdomen soften and recede towards your spine. Let the abdomen involute. All right, walk your hands to your feet for a brief Uttanasana. You can keep your heels up on the height, that's fine, or have the heels down. Lift up on the thighs, and then descend from the hips to the armpit chest. Descend your waist down, let your head go. Also, don't hold any tension in your abdomen. When you relax your abdomen, you'll be able to release your torso and spine more. All right, and then straight legs to come up. Okay, we're going to do a few seated twists now. So you may want to have a blanket handy to sit on. That can help. I'm just going to grab my blanket. All right, and then let's start with the feet wide. Sit in Upavishta Konasana, seated angle pose. So you can start with your feet actually a little bit more narrow, not your full range of flexibility, mobility here. And then see to it that the heels are on the same line. Also see to it that your buttock bones are on the same line. So you could have, the feet on the same plane, but have the hips shifted. So see that everything's on the same line so that we're going towards cultivating more symmetry. And then bring yourself forward and extend from the inner pit of the leg to the inner heel. So if you're wearing pants or shorts with an inseam or leggings with an inseam, that whole inseam, you're extending that inseam of the leg from the inner groin, the pit of the leg to the inner heel. And then keep the heels heavy. Press the backs of the thighs into the floor. Can you work to seal out the gaps more and more between the backs of the legs and the floor? Knees face the ceiling, toes up, but relax your toes. Don't hold tension there. And shoulders back, shoulder blades down the back. All right, we'll start with a simple upright twist. So upright Parshva Upavishta Konasana. So Upavishta Konasana, turning to the side meaning Parshva. Inhale, exhale, stay upright, turn to the right. And you can use your hands as needed for leverage here. Right shoulder back, bring those left side ribs around. Inhale, lift, exhale, turn. Keep the heels down, backs of the thighs down. Use the exhale to turn. And then come back to center, and then inhale, exhale, turn to the left. Backs of the thighs down, left shoulder back. Inhale, lift, exhale, turn. Bring those right ribs around to the front body. Lift up from the bottom sternum to top sternum. So your shoulders stay back, the chest stays open as you turn. Okay, and then come back to center. Now hold on to your right inner knee and just keep that pit of the leg nice and soft. Hold underneath the ankle. So there should be a softness to this leg, and then you bring that leg in. Let's do that one more time. So sweep that leg out. So especially if you're prone to hip issues, knee issues, this is important how you maneuver the leg. And it's important for everybody because we all want to keep our knees and hips healthy. So just bend that right leg and then try to keep it low down. Keep the inner leg nice and soft, and then hold underneath the ankle to bring it in. And then you can slightly lean away and extend from the inner groin to the inner knee. Take your hand on that thigh. Don't press the knee, but you can just gently press that thigh down. And then from here, stay upright, turn to the straight leg side. You can put one hand, the back of the hand on that bent knee, shoulders back. Inhale, lift, exhale, turn. Get the waist to turn around. All right, and then come back to center. Now, you can either stay upright here and just turn this way, nothing wrong with that, or for a slightly deeper twist, you're going to hook the opposite elbow to knee. So you hook that opposite elbow to knee, and then you turn. And wring the abdomen out from left to right. So you're turning the abdomen toward the bent-legged side. And you may even find that you can look up back behind you. Let that left shoulder blade spread. So from the spine to the left shoulder blade spread. All right, and then come up. Release that leg, change the sides. Hold the left inner knee. Bring that leg in. Do it a couple times, just nice and soft and easy here. And then you can slightly lean away from that bent leg side, press on the thigh, just gently encourage that thigh to descend. Now, this is also where if you're tighter in the hips, tighter in the hamstrings, low back, if you find that you are having a hard time sitting upright here, this is where it can be very helpful to take a blanket or a block or a bolster or something to sit on. And that will, you'll see how that will allow you to really lift up from the base of the spine. And it will also allow you to breathe more fully. You know, when our spine collapses, our chest collapses, and then there isn't as much room to breathe fully. All right, and then turn to the straight leg side. Right inner border of the shoulder blade onto the back, right shoulder back, both collarbones wide. Inhale, lift, exhale, turn. All right, and then let's turn to the bent-legged side. So opposite arm to knee, or you can stay upright for this twist and turn this way if that's more appropriate for you. And then you're going to turn the abdomen on the exhale. It's like you're wringing the abdomen out like a washcloth, and you're turning that abdomen towards the bent-legged side. Exhale to turn. You can even look up back behind you here. So there's a spiraling quality that comes into the twist. And then from the spine to the right shoulder blade, widen. So you widen from the spine to the right shoulder blade. So there's a spreading across that shoulder blade area, especially on the right side. Okay, and then let's come out, straighten the legs out, Upavishta Konasana, hands behind you, press the backs of the thighs down, heels down, shoulders back. Okay, we'll do a couple more seated twists, and then we'll take this to standing. So sit in Dandasana, staff pose. Legs are straight, heels down, thighs down. Again, if you're not able to extend your spine fully here and sit upright fully, then take a height such as a blanket, block, or bolster to sit on. And then slightly lean to the right, bend your right leg, bend your left leg. Let the left ankle rest in the instep of the right foot. And then take a moment here and feel, notice, if you have a mirror, you can even look and see what's happening with the side waist, your side ribs. So for me, you can see that because this hip is a little higher here, this side of the waist kind of bows out. There's an unevenness there. It's like the ribs are moving toward the skin. And we want to create an evenness in the sides of the waist and the ribs because that will create an evenness for the spine. So what can you do? You can take a folded blanket or block and bolster and then put that underneath the right buttock, not underneath the thigh, just that right buttock. And then from there, you'll notice you can start to get more freedom, more equal length in the two sides of the waist. Anchor down that left root of the thigh, and then that Virasana leg. So this is our Virasana leg. Virasana is hero pose. That Virasana leg from the head of the shin to the big toe, keep that extending straight back. Level out your shoulders, level out the two sides of the waist, the two sides of the ribs. And then inhale, exhale, turn to the right. So turn the waist, turn the abdomen left to right. That right hand, it can be on the floor, or if you happen to be close to a wall, you can walk those hands back on a wall and sort of inch those hands away. That'll give you a nice opening on that right upper chest area. Or the other way you can do, I'll show from the side here, if you're sitting on a blanket, you can Grab hold of that blanket with your right hand and then use that as leverage to turn. So anchor down the left thigh, both shoulders back. Careful not to lean in this pose, but keep the shoulders level. Inhale, lift, exhale, turn. Now, one way to assist in this pose is you can even look down away from where you're turning. So look towards that left knee, and then from there, turn. We don't want to overdo the neck and the twist. The movement should come from the spine and the ribs. Go ahead and straighten your legs out. We'll change sides. Not from the neck. The neck and head follow the movement of the spine. All right, legs straight. Briefly come back, Dandasana, staff pose. Heels down, tighten the knees, backs of the thighs down. Now we'll slightly lean to the left, bend the left leg, bend the right leg. The right leg goes on the instep of the left foot. Take the same height that you used on the first side so that we're working in a symmetrical way. I know our bodies aren't symmetrical, but we want to work in a symmetrical way to encourage that symmetry right to left. And then from here, we'll turn to the left. Inhale, lift, exhale, turn. Left shoulder back. Turn the waist from right to left, and don't let that right hip lift up. So keep that right buttock, right root of the thigh down. Left shoulder back. Inhale, lift, exhale, turn. And again, look down at your right knee. Turn the waist, turn the ribs, turn the spine to the left more. And then you can just let that head follow. All right, let's release, come back to center. Sweep those legs forward. Straighten your legs out, Dandasana. Knees down, heels down, knees down too, backs of the thighs down. And then shoulders down, chest up. Okay, let's take a couple more seated twists and then we'll come up to standing. I'm going to take a little height to sit on because I know that will help me lift my spine, so you can do the same. Let's draw the right leg in, so hold behind the right knee. Draw that right leg in, and then inhale, take the left arm up, hook the left arm on the outside of the right leg, or you can hold like this, and then turn to the right. Relax your toes. Inhale, lift, exhale, turn to the right, right shoulder back. Turn the abdomen from left to right. Okay, and then release. Now keep your legs in place. Take your right arm up now. Reach that right arm forward on the inside of the bent leg. So notice I'm putting my outer shoulder on the inner knee there. Use that as leverage. Reach that arm forward. And then if you're able, go ahead and grab hold of your left foot and then turn to the left. Now, if you cannot reach your foot, this is where a belt is useful. So you just take that belt around your left foot, and then from there you hold. Left hand on the hip, left shoulder back, and turn. Now also, if you know how to do the bind here, you can reach that right arm forward, and then that right thumb turns down, you reach back, and then if you're able to clasp, you clasp, and then lift up, left shoulder back, and turn to the left. Keep both buttock bones down. So don't let the bent leg buttock come up, keep that down. Right inner heel down, left shoulder back. And then come up, re-straighten the legs, hold behind your left knee, bring yourself toward that heel. Inhale, right arm up, exhale, hook the right arm on the outside of the left leg, left shoulder back, right leg straight, relax your right toes, but at the same time, work to take that right thigh down and turn to the left. Turn the abdomen right to left. All right, and then come back to center. Take the left arm up, reach it forward. Can you even reach beyond your foot or to your foot? And then from here, you can either hold the foot or again, take the belt around your right foot, hook or press rather, the left arm, the left outer shoulder on the inside of the left leg, and then right shoulder back. Turn the waist from left to right and turn. Okay, and then let's undo. And this time, let's come into downward facing dog again to extend out our legs and extend our spine. Again, have heel support. So that means either heels on the floor or heels at the wall, or take something underneath your heels. Press to the palms, heels down, tighten the elbows, draw your hips back. Let go your head. Let your abdomen soften, but don't let go your arms and legs. So keep those kneecaps drawn in. Keep the thigh, the quadricep muscles, flesh sucked into the bone, inner heels back. And take plenty of distance between your hands and your feet so that you can maximize the length of your spine and of your waist. If your stance is short, you won't be able to fully lengthen your spine. And then walk your hands to your feet to come out. You can pass through Uttanasana, intense stretch, legs straight, head and torso down. And then straight legs to come up. Okay, we're going to take a few standing poses now. So we're going to start with some lateral standing poses to create length and space. And then we're going to take this into some twisting poses. So if you have blocks, have those at the back of your mat. And then stand straight and tall, be in Tadasana. So feet together, or if you need to take feet hip width, that's fine, but see that the outer edges of your feet face straight forward. Legs together, reach the arms down, lift up through the armpit chest, lift up through the waist. Smooth, steady breath. Okay, so for our first round of triangle pose, we're going to do it with the arms extended overhead. So this will be a slightly less traditional way of working with the pose. You can do this with me. Interlace your fingers, turn the palms away, reach the arms up. So you can see here, my palms are open and I'm evenly opening the palms up to the ceiling. So don't let the thumbs come up like this, but evenly open the palms to the ceiling, keep the elbows straight. And then from there, step the feet wide, outer edges of the feet face straight forward, lift up, turn the right leg out from the root of the thigh, and really lift up the thigh, lift up the kneecap of that right leg. Legs are poker straight in triangle pose. Be in your back leg, press into your left heel, left outer foot bone. Stay with that back leg. Don't let your weight fall to the right. So be in that back leg, extend to the right. Don't let yourself dip down to the floor. Keep that right side waist coming forward. And then take the right hand down to the block, or you can use your shin and extend the arms for triangle pose. Thighs lifted, kneecaps lifted, unclench your toes, spin your thighs from inside out to grip the outer hip. And keep both sides of your waist long. So don't let those top ribs bow up to the ceiling, but move those top ribs away from the skin towards your spine. So there's an evenness to the two sides of the waist, and thus an even extension to the two sides of the spine. Now, as you spin your thighs from inside out and turn that right side waist up to the ceiling while keeping the right shoulder back, you may find that that head turns up to the ceiling. Don't force it, but it may come as a result of turning the torso. And then look forward. Exhale, inhale, press into your right leg. Be with your right leg. Come up slowly. Use that strength in your right leg. And then come up. We'll take the other side. Turn your feet forward, outer edges of the feet forward. Interlace your fingers. Let's do the odd grip this time. So do what you do without thinking about it. For me, that's left index finger on top. And then go the other way. So now for you, whatever the odd grip is, take that index finger on top. And then turn the palms away. Inhale, lift up. Now again, really be with that back leg. Tighten the elbows. Lift up to lengthen the side waist, to lengthen the sides of the abdomen. Press into that back heel, back outer foot bone. Turn the left leg out from the root of the thigh. Both thighs lifted, both kneecaps lifted and tight. And then extend to the left. Bring that left side waist forward. And then take the hand down to the block. Legs straight. Extend the arms fully. Extend the legs fully. See that the top ribs aren't bowing up. Keep those ribs toward the spine. Smooth, soft breath. And then again, spin the thighs inside out. So by that, I mean you're spinning the thighs this way. And you'll feel a reaction in the outer hips when you do that. Do you feel the outer hips firm when you do that? And then turn that bottom side waist toward the ceiling any amount. You may find that your head follows. If not today, that's fine. So you want the head to follow the movement of the spine. Exhale, inhale, press into your back leg, heel, outer foot bone, be firm in the legs. The legs shouldn't bend at all there. They shouldn't wobble. And then turn your feet forward, step or jump your feet back together, be in Tadasana, mountain pose, even standing. Legs straight, reach the arms down, lift up through the armpit chest. So the armpit chest is here. We want to keep that area tall and open because it has an energizing effect. You know, when the chest drops and the shoulders round forward, it makes us tired, right? We can't breathe fully. It can cause neck issues. You may start to get headaches and fatigue. So keep this area lifted and open. All right, we'll take one more lateral standing pose. Let's take extended side angle pose, Utthita Parshva Konasana. Separate your feet wide. From here, let's turn the arm from inside out to turn the palms up to the ceiling. And then bring those arms up, palms facing, elbows straight. Lift the arms to lengthen the side waist. Now, also be in that back leg. Don't let your weight fall to the right leg. Turn the right leg out from the root of the thigh. Stay with that back leg. Bend the right leg. Keep that right inner knee back. Extend inner thigh, inner groin to inner knee. And then stay with your back leg. Stay anchored in your back leg. Extend out to the right. Take that right hand down. And there you are, side angle pose. So you might find you don't even need a block, you know. But if you do, that's fine. You can put your right hand on the block. Extend from the left hip to the fingertips. Spin the thighs inside out. And then bring that bottom waist, bottom ribs forward. So you start to bring almost a revolved quality to the ribs, to the torso, even in this lateral pose. And then exhale, inhale. Don't come up too quickly. Be in the back leg. Press into that left heel, left outer foot bone. And then straighten the right leg. See, when you straighten the right leg, you go more in that back leg. And then we'll change sides. Take the feet forward, toes forward. Turn the left leg out from the root of the thigh. Press into the right foot bone, right outer foot bone, right outer heel. Anchor in your back leg. Bend your left leg, extend inner groin to inner knee back. Turn the palms up. Reach out to the left. Keep that left side waist coming forward. And then hand down. And then top arm extend from the hip to the fingertips. Spin the thighs inside out. All right, and then press into that back leg. come on up, come on out, turn the feet forward, and then come back to Tadasana. Reach the arms down, lift up through the sideways. Okay, so now we're going to take this into a couple of standing twists. So we're going to work on revolved triangle pose, Parivrita Trikonasana. And it will look like this. So what we will do is, I'll show from the back. So you're going to separate the legs wide, and then you'll turn that right leg out. We'll just do this a few times, touch and go. So not holding, just touch and go to start to create some mobility. Really leg straight here, pressing that back heel, and then you're just going to reach that left arm down so the left shoulder blade reaches to the floor, and then that left hand touches. It can be in the block, on the shin, on the floor, just like that. And you can even go on the inside of the leg. You know, if you're a little tighter with these poses or newer to these poses, you can have the hand on the inside of the leg and then press into the back heel and come up. So you can go ahead and do that with me a few times, just touch and go. Touch and go. So it's almost like a windmill action of the arms. The legs are definitely straight here. And as you turn, let's say I'm on Parivrita Trikonasana to the left. As I turn to the left, that right shoulder blade draws to the floor. So there's a widening from the spine to the right shoulder blade. So if I show from the back, you'll see what I mean. So as I turn here to the left, I get a widening across this side of the back. All right, let's do just a couple more times. Now, as you get a little more comfortable, or maybe more freedom, I should say, with this pose, you can stay for a couple breaths. And then change over. Okay, and then Tadasana. Now we'll take this into a slightly deeper standing twist, Parivrita Parshvakonasana, revolved side angle pose. And you can go ahead and do this with me. So I'm going to turn my back to you so that when I'm in the pose, I'm facing you. Turn that right leg out. Let the back foot angle in slightly. Bend your right leg. Take your left arm up. And then as you exhale, draw the left ribs around to the right. Hook the left elbow on the right leg. Back heel down. And don't feel like you need to do your deepest pose right out the gate here. So again, we'll move a little bit right to left. Just bringing in some movement, bringing in hopefully some suppleness to the ribs, to the spine, to the hips. Try to keep the movement fluid. Watch that turn of the ribs and turn of the waist toward that bent leg, toward that front leg, back leg straight, press in that back inner heel. And a couple more times, just like this. So learning to hold the poses, to maintain the poses, refine the poses, that's important, but also having movement to create a more dynamic quality, to create suppleness, that's important too. So we have to have both. Okay, now this time we'll work on holding. So you'll bring that left arm around, hook the arm, and then this may be as deep as you can go today, so you'll stay here. But if you can, put this hand down on the floor or on a block, take that left hand down, reach to that back inner heel, tighten the back knee, and then right shoulder back, turn to the right. Exhale to turn. And then from here, you can even extend that top arm overhead, like a Parshvakonasana arm. Turn to the right. And then come on up, change the sides. So watch each stage. Watch the transition in and out of the pose. Bend the left leg. Bring those right ribs around. Keep that back leg straight. Keep that back heel down. Hook that right arm around. Turn the waist from right to left. Draw that left buttock in. Don't let that left buttock wing out. Draw that left buttock in back to the right heel. And then left shoulder back. Exhale to turn. And then you can draw that left arm overhead. And then press into the back heel. Come on up, come on out. And let's begin Tadasana. Reach the arms down. Lift up through the side walls of the chest. Okay, separate your legs wide for Prasarita Padottanasana. Expanded, intense leg stretch. Hands on your hips. Lift up, bottom armpit chest to top armpit chest. Even so much so that maybe your upper back comes in a little bit, the sternum lifts and you look up to the ceiling. And then keep the legs straight, press the outer heels down. Take your hands down underneath your shoulders, pause there. Tighten your knees, lift your thighs, press your outer heels down. And then take your upper back in and lengthen your side waist. So keep the hips resisting back, outer ankle in line with the outer hip. And then from there, extend your bottom ribs away from your hips. So I'll show standing up, like the hips are in place. And then you're drawing those ribs away from the hips. So you actually create more space in the side waist. But with the shoulders back, and with the shoulders back, collarbones back. So don't let the shoulders round forward. So stabilize the low body, draw your spine, extend your spine to the crown of the head forward. And then keep the palms open, bend your elbows, walk your hands back so the heels of the hands are in line with the heels of the feet. Bend your elbows and release your back crown of the head to the floor any amount. So you can just let your head hang here if it doesn't reach the floor. You know, if that bothers you, you can always take a block for your head and gently let your head rest on the block. But don't let your head jam on the block. So you don't want the neck to jam. It's okay to even just let your head hang down here. Keep those thighs and kneecaps lifted. Press gently through the circumference of your palm, and then draw the forearms up. Draw the triceps toward the armpits, and see how that gently lifts your shoulder blades up on your back. So the shoulders come away from your ears. All right, and then come back to the concave tabletop position with your spine, with your torso. Now, one last time, we're going to come into side angle pose, not the revolved one, just a straight pose, and see if anything has shifted now in your side angle pose. Turn the right leg out from the root of the thigh. Bring yourself to the right, and then pause there with the left hand on the hip, right arm in front of you. Now draw that right buttock in back to the left heel. So don't let the buttock stick out and back, but draw that right buttock bone into the left heel. Sweep yourself toward that right leg. And then pause here for a moment. So let the outer right shoulder be on the inner right knee. Bring that right side waist around. Left shoulder back, yes. And then just sneak that arm behind, left arm up and over. Turn the waist to the ceiling. So turn the right side waist to the ceiling, spin the thighs inside out. And then change sides. Turn the left leg out. Sweep that left arm forward. Take the right hand to the hip. As you draw that left arm over to the leg, then draw that left buttock back into the body. And then bring that bottom side waist forward. Top arm up and over. Oh, sneak the other arm behind. There we go. Now we're in the pose. Spin the thighs inside out to pincher the hips in. All right, and then from here, let's actually just step to downward facing dog. Press to the palms, tighten the elbows, draw the hips back, legs straight, arms straight. As you draw the hips back, relax your abdomen and let the sides of the abdomen, the sides of the waist lengthen. And then bend your knees, big toes together, knees apart, descend the hips, come into Adho Mukha Virasana, downward facing hero pose. And then walk your hands in and sit on up. Okay, we'll take 2 more twisting poses. Now we're going to take a couple of revolved twists. So Parivrita Upavishta Konasana, revolved seated angle pose, and Parivrita Janushirshasana, revolved head of the knee pose. Sit with your legs wide in Upavishta Konasana. And now for any of these poses, if you need to take height to sit on so that you can fully lift up, extend your spine, keep your chest open, take whatever support you need, modify as needed. First, turn to the left. Extend out over that left leg. Turn the abdomen even. You can take one hand to the foot or take the belt to hold and turn out over that left leg. Turn the abdomen, revolve the abdomen right to left. On the exhale, turn the abdomen. And also turn those right side ribs to the front body. And then change sides. Extend out over the right leg. Turn the abdomen left to right. Turn the left side ribs to the front body. This thigh may get a little bit light, that's okay, but still you want to go for straight legs, knees up, toes up, backs of the thighs down. Okay, and then come up, extend out over your left leg. Now, reach the right arm forward and then walk it around on the inside of the leg. Couple options here. You can just work with the hand down like this, okay? Or if you're more experienced, you're gonna turn that arm from inside out. The arm turns this way, and then you're going to clasp the foot with the thumb on the same side as the fingers, thumb down, holding the inner edge of the foot. And then from here, you're going to reach that top arm up and over, bend the right elbow, lengthen the left side waist. Now, can you work to seal out the gap? You can see here I have a gap between my waist and the leg, but I want to, as much as possible, work to seal that gap out and bring that underside waist forward. And then you take that top arm up and over. If you can hold the foot, bend the inner elbow, and then extend up to the ceiling. Turn your head up to the ceiling. Or keep your head forward if that's what you need to do for you today. Now also watch these ribs, so you can see on me how these ribs are sort of bowing up to the skin. So my job here, and likely your job too, is to draw those ribs in away from the skin. Okay, and then revolve to come out and go ahead and change sides. Repeat on the second side. Now I'm going to show, for those who feel more stuck in this pose, if you're not able to hold your foot, what you can do, there's ways we can work with this pose. You can use a chair to help. Also, I'm just going to show a simple way where you can use a bolster. So I'll show on the second side. And if you're more experienced and you want to simply proceed and repeat this a couple times, right side, left side, then go ahead. This pose does tend to get better with repetition. So with twists, it's typically better to do them for shorter periods of time, especially in the beginning. Don't hold them for too long, but rather do quick holds, quick stays, and repeat several times. So if you're using the bolster, what you can do is take that bolster and stand it up on the inside of the leg. And then you turn to the right, take the shoulders back, and then you take that left arm forward, put that left arm on the front edge of the bolster, and then reach that top arm up and over. And then you can work on getting that top elbow straight, bringing the ribs around, and just getting that extension and that length through the side waist. You know, before we twist and revolve, first we need to get length and extension, and that will give you more freedom and space in your twisting. So this is a good sort of intermediate way to work. Okay, and then you can repeat that a few times, but we'll go ahead and move on now to our other twist, Parivrita Janu Shirshasana. So first, just bring the legs forward. Let's give those inner legs a little rest. Heels down, backs of the thighs down. Okay, and then let's bend the right inner knee, bend that right leg. Bring the right heel to its own inner groin, and then take that straight leg out to the side. And then turn to the bent-legged side. Inhale, exhale, turn to the bent-legged side. And then that leg that's straight, that same arm reaches forward, but the arm reaches forward, but it's like you're turning away from where you're going, right? So if your left leg is straight, that left arm reaches forward, but you turn away from where you're going. And then you walk that hand around. And then again here, you can repeat with the bolster and just work on lengthening the side waist if that's the way for you to work today. Otherwise, you turn that arm inside out, take the thumb down, hold the inner edge of the foot, bend the elbow, and then take your right arm up and over, and then take that right inner elbow up to turn up to the ceiling any amount. And then change sides. So again, shorter holds, more repetition, better in the beginning here. And then as we get more suppleness in these poses, more experience, let's actually come into the pose the same way we did the first side. So bend that left knee, gently bring that heel in. You can even scoop forward a little bit so the heel comes into its own root of the thigh. So the heel is in its own groin there. And then take that straight leg out to the side, right leg out to the side. And then turn first to the bent leg. Reach that right arm forward. As you reach that right arm forward, bring that right side waist around. And then the arm turns this way. And left arm up and over. Again, you can use the bolster here. But if you're able to hold the foot, hold the foot. And then you bend the elbows. Inner elbow comes up to the ceiling. And work to lay that waist, that torso more and more out along this leg. Okay, so you may want to repeat those poses a few times. In interest of time, since I said this would be a compact practice, we're going to bring this to a conclusion, but this can definitely be repeated. You know, and also those more experienced students out there, you might see how this revolving quality of the ribs could lead to poses like Kurmasana, tortoise pose. You know, this could help you for a pose like Kurmasana, right? So you walk the hands underneath, the knees go from outside in, toes up, you extend those legs forward. So something along those lines, you could work with that way and take it to that next. So just an idea of another way you could work. Okay, let's take a quick Baddha Konasana. So soles of the feet together, knees apart. Again, if you need to take height here to sit on, take height. And then don't think about pressing your knees down, but rather, I'm actually going to give you a subtle tip here. If you go to the top of your heel, just where that arch comes in, okay? And then when you sit with the soles of the feet together, get the feeling like you're drawing and retracting that arch into the shin, and watch what happens to your legs when you do that. So feet together, retract that arch towards your shin, towards your knee, and see what happens to your thighs. So I noticed for me, I had a big difference in my thighs dropping down. If that makes zero sense for you today, no worries. Just think about descending then from the inner groin to the inner knee, So the thighs go down, so you're not pressing the knees down. Okay. And then we'll end with a Supta Swastikasana. So a bent-legged pose, sort of a bent-legged Shavasana type pose. You can just have a bolster or whatever you have around the house, a big couch cushion. And then if you want to have a thin blanket or a thin pillow under the head, you can have that. And now you're going to lie down, cross your shins, just like how, we often start class, crossing the shins. And then have those shins well crossed. Rest the ankles, feet, shins on the bolster, arms to the side. And let yourself let go. So really let the abdomen soften, recede to the spine, roll the arms from inside out. Let your arms settle, let your legs settle, let your abdomen settle. Close your eyes, relax across your face. And last but certainly not least, even let your breath rest. And then after you're there for a minute or two, you can simply change the cross of the leg. Rest there a little longer, take your time. And then when it's time to come out, you'll take a slightly deeper breath, a natural exhale. You can just gently open your eyes, roll to your side, pause, and then push with one hand to sit up. Sit up straight and tall. If your day allows you to even just sit quietly for a couple of minutes, you can stay there and sit quietly. So thanks so much for tuning in today. You can use this recording as a complete practice for you today. You can also take this, pause the recording for more experienced students and practitioners, explore some deeper poses. If you know how to do Shirshasana, Sarvangasana, that can be added in. I'll leave that to you to figure out some good places for those poses and as well adding in the variations. Also, if you enjoyed this recording, please hit like, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Feel free to share. Also, remember, you can attend my classes live. The information on that is at GretaKenstall.com. And I also have a Patreon as well. And the link to that is on my YouTube channel. But it's Greta Kenstall on Patreon. Thanks so much, and hope everybody has a wonderful practice and a wonderful day out there. Namaste.